So hey guys, my name is Daniel, and I'll be showing you guys how to generate leads on Voiceflow straight to n8n, which then connects it to Airtable. So that are basically the tools we'll be using. We'll be generating first name, last name, phone numbers, email address, or any other information, maybe marital status that we feel we can add to it. So that is what we'll be doing today. It's something that I'm sure will interest you because using voice flow you can use it for either voice and chat or voice, and it's quite easy to use, something that once you start using it you'll be like, oh, okay, calm stuff. It's not that complicated. It just depends. It can be complicated depending on what you want to do. If you decide that you want to make um a chatbot that has so many things, then yeah, but if you're making a simple one just the way we're doing it, you find that it's actually quite simple. And then we'll be using anytime when it comes to automations, it's crazy stuff, man. There's so many things you can do and so many things you can build on it. So yeah, it's what we're using. It's something that you can self-host, or you can decide that you want to use their own cloud. So it depends on what you want. If you're using your cloud, then yeah, you have to pay for it. But if you're self-hosting it, then sure, down to is which is actually a good thing. Actually, it's actually a very, very nice thing. So next one is Airtable. Airtable is similar to like Excel, which you study data, but it's actually much more complex because you can automate it. You have so many things that you can do on it, so many bases of record, so many things. That's why I did choose Airtable for it. The pricing is quite on the downside here, but if you there are other options available with similar to Airtable but lesser pricing. But due to this tutorial video, we'll be using Airtable for it. So I think that's all we've covered when it comes to the intro of this video. So without wasting much of our time, um, let's just go into the tutorial. So just like I mentioned before, we're just going to start the whole process now, and quite an easy one. It's something I've started before, so I hope you guys. I have already ongoing project going on, so I just had to just use the start button over again, just to make it much more easier for you guys to understand the whole flow process. So this is the interface of voice flow, and if you want me to show, it's just a user signing with your Gmail or whatever, maybe Gmail and password or email and password, whichever one you use. So you can just use sign in Google, whichever one is preferable for you, and then set the whole thing up, and you find yourself in this place here. And yeah, so there's maybe I might actually just do it maybe later on focusing on voice flow alone, just a tutorial on that. But for now, let's just dive in. So we'll be using Daniel's hub, um, just give the name of the maybe a company or a service, just Daniel's hub. So how the flow will go will be like, well, first of all, greet our customer client. Like, hello, welcome to Daniel's hub. We'll be asking some couple of questions from you just to get your information for me if you don't mind and stuff like that. So we'll ask for their first name, last name, email address, phone number, and marital status, and then send it to anything. Then anything send it to Airtable. So basically, that's how the flow is going to go. Like I said before, we're already generating leads, and I'll show you guys how you can implement it. I'm not going to be using on. I'm just going to show you how it looks like on the website, how it looks like in the bottom, how the test how the chatbot will look like. So we're not going to run it on the real website, it's just like a demo website where I'll show you how it looks like. So yeah, first of all, you can decide to start. You can decide to drag and drop, and then connect it, or you can decide to just start from a draw it, then talk, then message. We have talk, listen, logic. I'm not going to be forgive me for this. I'm not really going to be diving much into this because this is another different part. But as time goes on, would that be picking like we'll be using API? So would that be talking about little different things? Then maybe like I said, maybe when I'm doing a full video of voice, but then I'll take each and every one of it step by step. So I don't really want to miss much of that. I just wanted to just focus on the main topic. That's the reason why. I hope you guys don't mind. So I'll be dropping a message, which will be our welcome message. You can decide to name it here. That means welcome message, and then the message Message goes good day, well, welcome to Daniel's hub. So that is the first welcome message, and you can decide to change the how it looks. If you don't want it to repeat the same thing, like you don't want the same thing to come up every time, you can add a variant. The variant generate new different intro to it. So basically that's just how it works. So good morning, welcome to Daniel's Hub. Hello, welcome Daniel's Hub. Welcome to Daniel's Hub. Have a great day. So different variants come up and it changes. So it makes your work a little bit different. So each time you click on it, doesn't bring up the same thing over and over again. So that's the usefulness of variant. So the next thing is we'll bring out another message here where we say we'll be asking you some questions. That means we'll be asking you some questions so as to get your information for future reference. So yeah, you can decide to add a variant to if you. So it depends on what you want to do. You can decide that you want to leave it the way it is, or you can decide to just change the whole thing. So yeah, from that we're going to um, the main thing, which is the first name. So like I said, you can decide to change the name of the blog to first name. It depends on you, but due to not to drag this whole story video for a long time, we'll just continue like that. So we'll say what's your first name? So I decided not to add a variant this time just to like speed up the whole process so we don't waste too much time. So you can add a variant. I'm sure to change the can I get your first name? Stuff like that. So basically that's just how it goes. So what's your first name? So now you've asked the question. The next thing you have to do is listen because now you're waiting for the person to give a reply. And there are different ways you can do it. You can decide to use a button. Button is usually yes or no. Choice option is when the person has to input it, while the capture is when you're taking the person's response. So just to find out due to the um due to the process that we're doing, we're actually generating it, so we have to capture the response. The response is what we need. It's not like we're giving them a button option where yes or no, or a choice option where they have to pick. So no, it has to be a capture because we need their response. So that's why we're using a capture. So if you're asking a question that you like rice and beans, then you can say yes. You can use a button for example and say yes, or you can say no. Depends on it. So the button is it can button my more than two. I'm just using as yes or no as an example. And choice, the person has to input what you want. So it's something that you have to like, let's say, okay, what's your favorite food? And then you have rice, beans, and other things, and the person has to input one of those things there. So instead of the person saying yes, no, or right, the person just has to type in beans. That's the useless of choice. But for capture is when you want to get a response from a person, you capture the thing. So that's why we use capture. So we're using capture today. So we're using capture. That means capture is what you're listening to. After you finish asking the question, the next thing you want to do is listen to what the person says. So we are using capture to listen to what the person. So now we can decide to use entities. Entities is I don't know entities is what we use to capture the response. You can decide to capture a specific entity. Let's say for example you want what's your name, and the person goes my name is Daniel. That my name is has already added extra variable to the name. So entities also serves to just pick out only the Daniel, why the other part that is my name is being called out. So that is a function of entity. But due to the fact that we'll be using chatbots, nobody has that to say my name is. They just write only their first name. We are using voice that you have to make use of entities. It makes it more easier to capture only that specific part. of it. Or you say, what's your phone number? And the person say that, oh, my phone number is that slight addition of oh, or is being called out. That is how we're able to just capture any instance. But for chatbot here, we'll be using the entire user's reply, because you expect the user to type in their first name. Okay, what's your first name? That. My first name. The person doesn't have to write my first name. Nobody. When it comes to chatbots, people rarely do something like that. So it's usually entire reply that we use for it. So we will change the um the variable to a new one, because this one is last assurance. Last assurance is the last thing the person said, and it's not that we'll be using. So we want to create a new one. So the new variable will be first name, and we save the variable. That is, create a new variable. So it saves as first name. So what's your first name? Then we've captured the first name. The next thing we want to access, we'll ask what's your last name, and then just the same way we did it before, we capture it, and then we use entire user's reply. Like I said before, I decided to use just the main thing, but no, we're using the entire user's reply. So yeah, we're saving it as last name. We'll be creating a variable for the last name. Let's create variable last name. So everything I'm doing is being saved as last name. So the next thing we want to ask is what is your phone number? Same thing, we repeat. So changing it to entire user reply, create a new variable and save it as number. So the process continues like that. So the next thing is uh, after phone number, we should be asking for email address. What's your sorry? What's your email address? And then be saving it as email address. So yeah, after email address, marital status number done. So what is your marital status? Yep. Then the same thing we're doing over again, like I said before. Oh, we just need this capture the response. So entire user's reply. We save it as marital status. Yeah, and then so once the person gives you the reply, what do you have to do next? We send it to n8n, then all this reply send it to n8n, and then before we now give um an ending message, like ending note that thank you very much for your response. It's deeply appreciated. Do have a lovely day, and you end it. So further we have to send it to anything. What we use to send anything, we use API to send it to n8n. So we're using API. API is what connects it to to anything, and we can use get, post, delete. I think there are other variables here, patch and put. So most ones you'll be using is actually get and post. Get is when you want to retrieve a document from a specific so let's say I want to retrieve a document from Airtable now. I will use get to, and if I want to post something, like you want to send something, you use post. So it's actually quite easy to understand, to know what to use. So right now we're sending this thing out. So what we're going to be using is post. If we want to get something, if we want to retrieve something, we use get. So it's actually quite easy when it comes to, okay, when you want to post, send. Okay, when you want to send, post. When you want to retrieve, get, that kind of thing. So it makes it much more easier. So we'll be using post, and the URL we add in here is what we'll be collecting from voice n8n. So before we do that, before we go to anything, I just want to set up the parameters that we'll be sending out. So what we'll be sending out is this thing we've generated, that is the last name and first name, last name, number, email address, and marital status. So I think we'll be sending to anything that will later send to Airtable. So for the parameters here, we add this by parameter of what we'll be sending out. So the first one is first name. And remember the variable we set it as what? First name. Don't forget, don't go and put in another variable for a different thing. So it has to make sure that it tallies, because if you're sending out first name and you're going to put email address where first name is, then what will be there when you're sending it out will be the email address, which is not supposed to be. So you have to be very conscious of what you're sending. So as you're using first name, what has to be the variable there, or the value has to be the variable that you saved it to. Let me show you what I mean. So remember that in the beginning we saved the entire reply as first name. So when you're adding it to the post, it has to be first name too. So yeah, let's continue that one. So the next thing we said was last name. That was second thing we sent, and then last name. Um, the next one was phone number. Then phone number. Oh no 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 no. I think there's already variable saved as. Let me confirm where I saved it as. Okay, I saved it as number. Yeah, I knew that I did not save it as phone number. So then number. Sorry. Then number. Yep. And the next one was email address. That is email. Let's just put the name as email. Then and, the variable we set it as was mail address, which is this. And the next one is um, marital status. Let's just say that marital, and then the variable we set it as was marital status. So yeah, now we have everything we need for it. Next thing is to send this thing out, but before that we need to get our request URL. So for us to do that, we have to go to n8n. This is how the n8n phase interface looks like. Like I said before, you can self-host or you can try to host on their website. So let's just dive right in. So for it to actually send, you have to use webhook. Webhook is actually what listens to the reply you're sending in before processing it to continue the whole workflow. So the first thing we'll be doing is webhook. So webhook, like I said before, is what listens to whatever you're sending to. So you start with webhook because you're sending something. So you're sending it, the webhook listens to what you're sending, and it uses the or it listens to what you sent. Once it gets what you sent, then you cannot process the whole thing. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Okay, let me explain it in a little bit easier way. We're sending this thing as post here. So when a webhook wants to get an information, that it tends to listen that okay, someone's sending something, And then if it gets the information of the person, yes, then you process the whole thing. So you have to know that when you're using post and Voiceflow, your method here too has to be post. So both have to align. So you're using post here. So this URL is, like I said before, we're using it in Voiceflow. So we'll be copying the URL and then pasting it in the request URL point here. So let's now test if what you set up is working. So before that, we have to make sure that um, our webhook is listening. So to do that, you can decide to use test workflow, or you can listen for test events, or you can decide to just click on this plus sign. And don't forget, this is a trigger. Trigger is what starts the whole workflow. Then the trigger, then you now continue to do actions next to it. So this is our trigger. And the way you can know a trigger is when you see this lightning sign there, so you know that that is the trigger. So the webhook is starting as our trigger. And then yeah, like I said before, we want to listen to it. So let's test the workflow. Okay, so yeah, it is listening now. You can see executing workflow. So let's now send this our document out. So I want to test it. So the first name, let's say Daniel. Last name, let's say James. Phone number, let's use a phone number 08101. This is the country I am. Okay, yeah, so the email address, let's say let me say Daniel James 120 at gmail.com. Marital Saturdays, married. So let's see if the thing is still listening. Okay, yeah, it's still listening. So we send it. So I'm waiting for it to show if it was successful. So yeah, it's successful because it's just 200k. If it's showed a different thing, then that would have been um there was an error in it. So we sent it to we sent the informations to to n8n. Let me show you. So yeah, you see one item has been received here, and that makes it a successful workflow. So yeah, these are the informations that we got from it. As you can see, we have first name Daniel, last name James, phone number, email address, then marital status, married. Like I said before, how you see it is how it appears. So if you would have input the variable for first name and you put the variable for phone number there, it would have both first name, then you'd have seen a number there. So that I said, you have to be careful when you're sending this thing. So we've gotten document. So the next thing we want to do is send it to Airtable this information. So you click on the plus sign. You can actually click on this plus sign here too, or you can click on this one here. So you click on it and you search for Airtable. So what we want to do is what we want to create a record. A different thing you can do, you can decide to when it comes to action, so create a record, create or update a record, delete a record, get a record, search a record, or update a record. So what we're doing right, we're creating a new thing. So we're collecting information, we're creating a new record for that person. So it's automatically just a new entry available. It's not like we had the person's name already. I want to just change the phone number. Oh, okay. This person said he has a new phone number that he wants to change. So let's change the phone number. That's when you're updating the record. So or you want to delete the record. Oh, this person is no more in our database again. We don't actually need this person information again. Then delete the record. Or you want to retrieve a record, get a record. So or you want to search a specific record by filter. Let's say the first name. I want to get this special information just by using the first name. Use search record. So since we're creating a new record, we'll create a record, and then like I said before, I would not really want to dive too much into it, but I'll just explain it's a bit. So this way the information we got from Voiceflow. As you can see, we have the first name, last name, phone number, email address, and the marital status, and that's what we'll be using. So before that, I already have an account created already. So what you have to do is create a new credential, then you just sign in. using your token API. And to generate your token API, you just go to your Airtable. You go to let me see if I can. So you go to Airtable and you go to Builders Hub. Yeah, I think that's where it should be. Let me check. I just want to confirm first. So while that is still loading. So yeah, once you create, I will still explain that one. So I just want to make sure that everything is done. So what we're doing is we're creating a new record. So the base, what base are we using? We're using this is the base I already created because we already did before. So we're using this base, and we'll be choosing from the list of tables that are available. So from list, we already have list of that I've created down already. So we'll be choosing from any of this list, or you can also choose by URL or ID depending on which one you want to choose. If you have an ID, you input the ID there, and if you have the list, you choose from the list. So basically I'll be choosing from this, and the list we have the customer info cancellation, and what I'll be focusing on now is the lead generation from it. So now from the lead generation, right now we only have name and status there. So yeah, to generate your access token, this is where you go to you create a new token, and from there you'll be able to input it into it. So let's just go back to the Airtable, so we're able to continue with what we were working on before. So why this is still loading, like I said before, this is the variables we're sending, the name, status, but we'll be adding a new record since this one so will be quite different. So we'll be changing this whole thing to make sure that it suits we'll make sure that it suits this our query, that is first name, last name, phone number, email address. So what we'll be putting on Airtable will have to be the first name, last name, phone number, email, and marital status. So let's just that's what we'll be adding to it. Sorry for the delay. Just waiting for it to load so we can continue. So yeah, we have to delete this. So the next person that are coming doesn't skip line. So we have the status. I don't know if there's need for this one, so let's delete this field. It will show in anything I've actually deleted this field, so you don't need for us to worry about that. So the next one is the next field we want to add is first name, then we have the last name, and we'll be setting it as a single line text because it's just a simple thing. So we'll be creating fields, then we'll be saving this one as first name. So to confirm the deleting of this field. And then the next thing we have is phone number, and then the field I will be using is number, so that is phone number, then create field, and then so it seems there's an error. And let me just use a opportunity to check out so first name, last name, phone number, email, and then the marital status. So due to the fact that we deleted the status here and then we're adding new field, you can see that it shows error on this is our workflow here. That means an error, and that means the columns are outdated. So I'll need to refresh for me to get the new one, but I want to finish up with these ones first. So we have the phone number, we have email address, and we'll save it as email. It's create field for email, and the last one is marital status. And I'll be saving that one as single line text. So yeah, so now that we've created the first name, last name, email, and marital status, just to confirm, First and last name, phone number, email, and marital status. So yeah, we'll need to refresh the list for us to be able to get the columns that we've the newly generated columns. So now we've gotten the columns: first name, last name, phone number, email address, and then it remains one, which is the marital status. It has not yet updated yet. So let's fetch the column again. So yeah, everything is here. So let's impute it. So what you have to do is just drag and drop actually. So where the first name is, you put it where the first name it's in the Airtable column. So you drag your first name, yeah, and then the last name, drag the last name to make sure that you put it in the same slot where it's supposed to be. The next one is phone number. So you just, like I said, just drag and drop, drag and drop. So email address, and the marital status. So basically, I just, and what would you do? We test the step to know how, if it's working or not. Let's test if it sends it out. So yeah, it sent it out. So let's check our Airtable to confirm if it has sent the details there. So yeah, as you can see, it's there already. Not much hassle. We've generated our first lead, which is Daniel James, the phone number, email address, and marital status. So basically, that's how you can just generate the hotel. So let's just do one more example before I show you how it looks like on the website. So one more example. So let's start from scratch here. Let's run it. So all this one finished running. When you are testing it, unless you want to make it active, you have to change this your webhook from testing to production URL. So for it to be able to work, that you don't have to listen every time that it runs automatically. Make sure that you copy this here production URL and put it in production URL for. That means you put it in the production URL here, where that link is. That's when you input it there for the production. And so yeah, basically that's just it. And then you have to make sure that it is active. Make it active so you don't have to listen to it every time. So right now I want to test it one more time before we do a hold on. What's taking this much time? Okay. So what's our first name? Let's see, John. Okay, what's your last name? Let's say Michael. Phone number. Email address. Married. Not likely. That's supposed to have written Singapore. Well, I guess. So yeah, you can see that the API is successfully triggered. So I expect that when I check my Airtable, the information should be there. And yes, it is there. So we have John, Michael, phone number, blah blah, and Mary. So basically, just it. So just to finish up this whole thing before I show you how it looks like on the yeah, I'll just show you how you can just test run it, how it looks on the website. Even though I'm sure you're getting pretty much gotten the whole how it's supposed to be. So once this is done, what you can let me know that is thanks for your response. Thanks for your response. We really appreciate it. Do a lovely, load. So yeah, basically that's just how to go about it. And the next thing you want to do is end the conversation so it doesn't continue. Action, then end. So basically that's just how generate leads on from your website or any other thing like that. So you it's just a simple process, as you can say, not something much of an hassle like that. And just use very easy copy paste from anything to and you see and each time someone clicks on your chatbot or whatever or whichever side you embed it on, it automatically saves on Airtable, which makes it so much easier. So you don't need to say the person won't start filling from it like that. Something that can be embedded. So you want to do is publish. Once you finish publishing, you continue the whole process. So alright, so that is basically a small process of how to generate leads from using Voiceflow to n8n and Airtable, storing data in Airtable. You can see it's not really that complicated. It's actually not complicated at all, and something that you can actually do yourself if you want to. So thanks a lot for your time and staying around to see the end of this video. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And we'll have more videos on this coming up. We still have many more to still explain and show how it's done. So yeah, I really do appreciate everything, and you can don't forget to also click on the notification button so you get aware of once a video that we make drop and all that. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. I encourage you out to us if you have any question, maybe you can just drop a comment and I'll be able to answer it in the section there. So do have a lovely day and I appreciate your time here. Bye.